Hello everyone and welcome. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers to my channel. I've got a few more here and there. I'm participating in the 100-day challenge. We are now at, let me think. Wait, I think day 49. If I'm not mistaken, it could be day 50. I wouldn't swear to that. I've done so many videos in the last 40 some days. I lost track there somewhere along the line. Anyway, what I'm playing with today, and yes, let me stop there before I go further and tell you what I'm playing with. I'm also participating in the ABC April 2025 collab with Tony from Crafting by Tony and Margaret at 7 Plaza. I am showing you a good way that you can make some vellum. DIY vellum is what I've got for you today. Now, I've already done a few pieces and I want to show you how they've turned out. Different types of paper are going to work, differently for this. I have one of my little cottage girls. This was printed on copy paper. And I have used my magic make your own vellum. Here I will show you what it is in a moment, but you can see how translucent that is compared to one that, you can tell that's the back side of both of those, and you can see the difference there. Very, very obvious. Makes it, the copy paper, very translucent. So I brought along some more of those. We'll show you how we created this one. I also used it on this paper, and it made it translucent somewhat. You can still see through it, but it's a little more opaque than, say, the Cottage Girl on copy paper. And I tried this on a few things off camera, like this paper. I'm not as happy as what it did with the copy paper. I also tried some book page, which is here. Now, these aren't completely dry, so I'm going to lay them outside. We have a lot of warm, bright sun today, and I'm going to lay them outside to dry off. And in here in a little bit, I'll check them, and I'll show you what they look like once they're completely dry. But what I'm using and I tried it on a couple labels. Again, I'm going to lay it in the sun and see how translucent they are when they dry, because they're not that translucent at this point. Yeah, you can see there. Anyway, what I'm using is simply a small thing of wood wax that I got from Amazon. And I'm just coating my copy paper. Again, that's the back side, that's the front side. I coat both sides of the copy paper, and I'm going to let it dry. Wipe off the excess wax and just let it dry completely. And I believe it will dry with that translucent color, and we've kind of got more or less our own type of vellum here. If you want to use buy vellum already made, you can get vellum envelopes. These are like some policy envelopes. I picked a package of these up. They have all different colors on Amazon. That one has a little flaw there that I probably did, so I'll likely use this in some way to either cover that or cut it off. And then this is just a little piece. I wanted to show you how you can simply cut you a piece, fold it up, use a vellum appropriate glue on your edges, or even a score tape would work, and you've got yourself a little vellum envelope. Again, you can see if I would put one of my little cottage girls with the dark hair behind it, you can see through that. That is, store-bought vellum. Personally, I'm obsessed with vellum. I'll be honest. I love it, and if I can use this technique and it dries well and makes my own, I'm going to be a happy woman. That's all I can say. So let's give it a shot. I got a few more of my cottage girls here, and I brought along some other types of paper that I thought I could use. I don't want to use this one. This is the one I used for the first one. So you can see it, you know, it was white on the back and you couldn't see anything. And when I used the wax on it, this is what I got. So you could see through it at that point from the back. So it does give it a different effect. I just like how it does on the copy paper better. It's just my personal opinion. So I've got some more copy paper cutouts here, and birds printed on a guest check, a little piece of paper tablet. I've got a guest check, but we're only going to try the bottom of it. And then I have a tea bag and an envelope and some other things here that just thought we'd give it a try and see how this technique works on a few other things. I really like how it works on these pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and do those first. I've got a little stencil brush you can use, or you can use your finger and just rub it on like this. Either way will work. Let me get the vellum envelope in my lap here before I drop it. Alright, we'll lay that up there for now. We'll have grease marks on everything if I don't get cleaned up well when I'm done here. So I'm just rubbing this onto the one side of the little girl. You got to rub it a bit so it'll really, you want your paper to get really saturated, and you want that to penetrate down into your paper. So if you're using a paper with any kind of a coating, it probably would not work very well for you. So once you get that side covered, you'll see how you're starting to be able to see through your paper. And just take a little bit more and just cover the back. The more you rub on the paper, the more translucent it gets, and the more that wax gets down into that paper to create the effect that you want. And the only ones I tried before I got on camera were the ones that I showed you. So this is a fairly new technique for me. And I just love how it does on these little cottage girls. And I've got that side, and then I've got, you can see through to the back side. So when I put her down on top of something, you'll be able to see whatever's behind her. Like if you have a large label, you'll kind of be able to see your large label, or whatever you would put behind her. So we're just going to lay the ones up here after I complete them. Pretty sure she has enough on her. Make sure here on the back. Oh yeah, she's done. See how you can see all the way through the back? Unlike these girls that are white on the back. So I'm going to do my little wheelchair girl. These cottage girls are from My Porch Friends. She has digitals, cottage boys and cottage girls. I've gotten both of them because I just think they're absolutely precious. And I really like adding them to a product or a project just to give it a little cute look. Yeah, she's turning out cute too. You can see it just penetrating there. You can rub it in, like I said, with your fingers. You could come along and use, if you wanted to use a little sponge and you didn't want to get it on your fingers, but you know me, I have my fingers in everything I'm working with, and I just have trouble holding that sponge on. You could also use like a stencil brush, which is what this is, and just kind of brush it around. The brush kind of, it might actually help it penetrate more. That spread that around a little more than I was doing with my finger, didn't it? Again, that's the back side. And we just want to make sure both sides are coated and covered well so that it has that translucent appearance when you use it. She's got a lot of color on her, so it might be a little hard for her to become completely translucent, but the more you rub it into the paper, the better it is. So I like to just get in there and just really start rubbing. It also, the paper when I started, I want to show you something. Can you see how flimsy? This gives it just a slight bit more stability. adding that wax on top there. All right, she's getting covered. I just love this little girl here because she reminds me of my granddaughter. Her hair is more red than my granddaughter's. My granddaughter has strawberry blonde or light brown hair. This little girl has reddish hair, but she's just so cute. And my granddaughter has glasses like she does, and I just love it. So I'm just going to hold it in my hand and rub it, the wax on my fingers. Get them on my fingers and just kind of rub it on this way. Just rub it in so it'll get clear down in there. Want that you'll be able to see the whole image through the back. So you want to rub it in both. This is the original side here. See, we got that. And then that white back, now you can see through. It became translucent, didn't it? See right through the paper. That turns out really cool. Okay, so I got this, this is a very thin piece of perhaps scrapbook paper. I can't tell what it is. It came in with something I ordered, so I'm going to try it. It felt thin enough. Let's see what happens if we do this piece. I'm just gonna rub it in good and do the back. I can see it starting to give that see-through appearance on this side. Goodness, I still have chalk on my hands from where I did my chalk video the other day. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? I washed my hands, believe me, I did. I think it's from where I might have been cleaning up chalk this morning. Maybe that's how I got it on there. I don't know. I often don't clean my desk up immediately after my videos. And then if I wait till the next day, then I gotta clean the mess up before I can start a new one. I know I should do it the same day, shouldn't I? Alright, so just making this translucent as well. Just taking it a little bit to saturate my paper. But once you get it completely covered on both sides and kind of rub it in, you're pretty well done. And I think before I set these out to dry, I'm going to wipe the excess grease off of the paper. So, okay. Yeah, it's not as translucent. This is the back side. Not quite as translucent as the copy paper becomes. But it did make the paper translucent. So we're going to put that there. And let's see what that one, that might be too thick. Let's try the doily and see how it turns out. A little fake, maybe it's not a doily, but I don't know. What is it? What would you call this, folks? A cutout. I get confused. I think the things that cut them out are dies. Don't ask me why they're dies, because they're made out of metal. And the things that you cut out are actually die cuts. But I think even when you are looking for the dies, if you sometimes you have to search metal cutting dies to get them. Okay, that one was a type of scrapbook paper. It didn't do quite as well. All it did there is kind of give it a shiny look. It didn't really make it translucent that much. So we'll skip the other piece of scrapbook paper I had out here. Maybe after it sits a while, we'll try it again. Oh, I have another girl out here to try. And once you let these dry, you can use them to create with. The larger pieces, if you just use a large piece of a digital, you could use that to make an envelope. Or you can even use them on tags. It'll be really cool on a tag because you'll be able to see right through them and see what's behind them, which gives them a really neat look. Okay, that finishes her there. Oh, get that little piece. Yeah, just kind of got to rub them in real good to get every little spot. Alright, so we got her. And let's try the guest. This is birds that are printed on a piece of copy paper and says guest check. So we're gonna, it's a little bigger. Let's try it. Get more on, I think, if I use my fingers for this one. Just rubbing it in, making sure I get a lot of the wax on the paper. I haven't even cut it out on the right lines yet. I thought I'd wait till I got this part done. And I'm just rubbing it in, letting it get down in there and penetrate that paper. Once you get one side covered, flip it over, try on the other side. Usually after the wax has been on it for a few, it will go ahead and soak into your paper. See how the more I rub that, the more translucent it becomes. You should be able to look through your copy paper and see your image on the other side very clearly if it's all rubbed in good. Okay, that's, I don't think I can put too much more grease on that side, so let's try. I'm calling it grease, but it's really wax. I really don't know how it'll dry either. That's why I'm going to wipe off the excess before I let it dry. Alright, look how you can see the pink from my mat under that where it's become translucent. That just is really cool. It reminds me a lot of like a glassine paper even. But it has the feel of a vellum. Okay, I think, did we get that one? Oh yeah, look at that back side of that. Just went right through and you can see that just like you can the little girls. Alright, I want to try one of my brown tea bags to see how it does, if it would make the tea bag translucent. I don't know. Let's see how it does. And my neighbor's starting to mow, so I apologize. Hopefully he'll be moving away from my window real soon. His building is right by my craft room window. So hopefully I'm gonna do both sides of this. And my goal is, you know, as with the other, it'll become translucent-y when it dries, and then I can open up my tea bag, which maybe I should do that before I get too far here. Open this up. I really don't need the string in there, so we'll pull it out. Doesn't want to pull all the way out, does it? There we go. We'll just pull out like that. There we go. I got these on Amazon, a small pack of these. And then you could use them rather than stamp on them and things. That's why I got them, just for a different type of, look how that becomes so translucent. I hope when it dries that way too, because that is just super cool. It's like see-through tissue paper or something. Okay. I'm going to try the bottom of this guest check. I don't want to do the whole thing because I don't know what it will do. So we're going to do this. Okay. And it's a little thicker, so it might take it a little bit more to soak in this into this guest check. It's soaking in there, but it's taking it a few. It's not as immediate as the copy paper, perhaps. So we'll let it sit and soak after I do some rubbing here. Just rubbing it in like I did all the others. Okay, a little bit. Not a lot. Glad I didn't do the whole thing, I'll be honest. Yeah. Okay, the more I rub it, the more translucent it's becoming. Taking a bit to soak into the paper, for sure. Okay. Put that there. And let's do this piece of antique paper. It's already got a lot of grease prints, maybe? I don't know. What would you call it? Looks like somebody laid their french fries on top of a piece of paper. And I'm hoping this dries up good. It's actually wood wax for cutting boards, so I think we'll be okay. And wooden utensils, so you wax your wooden utensils that you serve things with. It's got to be safe wax, right? There we go. My neighbor did either turn his mower off or went away from the window, that's for sure. Okay, let's do this piece. I'll go pick it up and just kind of move it around like I did on the smaller pieces. I just love how it makes the paper feel like it's got a little bit more strength or something. It's probably my imagination, but that's what it reminds me of. Let's see. It didn't take that long to go through that. You can see right through it. And let's put it over top these red numbers and see. Yeah, see? I mean, it's not clear, but vellum is not clear when you use it. So, even a white vellum is not. You still get a little bit of a, you can see through it, but it's just a little different. So we got that on the back. Okay. And this one, well, I'll put it out to dry. Just doesn't, I don't think the regular guest checks, the ones I have, I mean, it works a little bit, but they're very, very thick, and it would takes a while for that to penetrate that paper. This works better if you have thinner papers. This is just a tag that got printed. I ended up, some grunged it on the bottom. I thought it might look cool if I made this a little translucent and dried it to use for something. Give it perhaps a little bit of a grunge look, maybe. I don't know. Thought. Beginning to like that vintage grungy look. And I'm learning more and more how to create it. If you like the grunge look, Margaret and Tony are two creators that do a wonderful job aging up things and giving them those extra oomphs to make it look vintage and older even when it's not. So they're great people to follow as creators to learn those techniques. See how when you rub it on that side, how it's starting to penetrate on this side? I just like this, how it's just too cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll be obsessed with doing this too if it dries well. We'll see, we'll see. Never know. I think I need a little more here. Get that pushed in there, and you really sometimes have to rub it in. Give your hands a good exercise. Yep, the top there is Kind of hard to, you can see it's starting to be translucent. You can tell when I lay it down where these white parts are is the part I still need to rub good. And maybe we'll just blot the excess wax up with the coffee filter I have, and then we'll add more to it. Because my plan was to wipe some of this excess wax off before I let them dry anyway, huh? Okay, let's just rub this in, get it to penetrate good. Don't want to penetrate there where my flaw was on that side, but it's working on it. There it goes. And we're going to do this side just a little bit more right in there especially. I don't know what that got on there, but some of it's coming right off with the grease. Isn't that interesting? Okay. This is going to be like just a see-through vellum tag. Alright, here is the antique paper on the front. And when you put the tag over top of it, so you can see right through there. So, I'm going to set all of my waxed papers outside. But before I do that, I'm going to wipe my excess on this coffee filter. And I'm going to use this coffee filter to wipe down my papers before I take them outside to dry. And I'm just kind of using this to pick up all the extra wax, and then I'll give it some more wax on its own before I take it outside. I think that's all, yeah, that's all the ones up there that I made. That's not even one. Okay, so this paper really absorbed it well. I don't think I have hardly any excess on it. Just gonna wipe it right straight on here. This one is the same. I don't need to wipe any of these. And they've been sitting there, so they probably have dried a bit. Let's get this on here. And we'll wipe the back off. Okay. Wipe this one off. That's quite a bit on it. I can just pick it up. I can feel the grease on my hands. Okay. And all my little girls here. Let's do this. I'm just going to stick them in here and just blot them to get most of it off and pull it out. Just get all the excess. Yeah, that's not really doing much for that piece, but we'll see how it dries. You can kind of see, but your best bet for this technique is to either use tracing paper, newsprint paper, perhaps. I've not tried it, just a first thought here. Copy paper works very well though, or a very thin scrapbook paper, like a decoupage type paper. That would probably do well. And then you can come along and make anything you want out of these pieces of ephemera here. Let's get him in here because I don't think I got all off there very well. Press that down in there and use that to pull the extra greases off. Alrighty. Did I get her? Yeah, I did her. Didn't do you. This one's the very first one I've done, and yeah, it's still drying translucent. Okay. I won't be convinced until I see the finished product. Is that not awful? Don't trust it's going to work, so. All right. And did we do the her? I don't recall. Then I'm going to come along and add a little bit more to this coffee filter with, why don't we try the brush so I don't have it all over my hands. And I would say you'd have to leave this open quite a while to get it to dry out. Because I've had it, not a long time, but when I got it, I just laid it to the side because I hadn't tried it yet. Yeah, let's do that so I don't end up with so much on my fingers. I'll let the coffee filter soak it up, and it probably will soak it up. That's what coffee filters are for, right? To filter the coffee and be very absorbent in a lot of ways. Okay. Oh, I think either I'm smelling something very nice coming in the window from somebody's flowers or something, and I don't think anybody has any planted yet, but it must be the wax. Oh yeah, it has a lemon undertone scent. Isn't that pretty cool? All right. Coat this side. Just about. One of these little things would probably last you quite a while. It looks like I'm putting a lot on here, but I haven't really used that much out of the container if you look at my container. So, let's get it coated here. And it'll be time to lay the things. I'm going to lay them outside. I'll come back on later today after they've dried or laid in the sun to try to dry, and I'll show you what they look like. Just so much easier when I use my fingers. I said I wasn't going to do that, but guess what? I change my mind all the time, don't I? I don't think I'm going to wipe any off this coffee filter. I'm going to leave it here so it can soak all the way through. Did we get it? Let's put something down inside too. This will make a nice translucent type pocket to put in a journal. It's hard to fold inside out without ruining it, so will it let me do that just to get the... Would you look at that? It did. Now I might not want to be able... I might not want to fold it the other way. I don't know. Never done this before. Kind of like the look of it without the raw edge. So let's see. There's that. Let's push this edge out. There we go. All right. Boy, I like that. I think I'll come back and cut some out of that corner after it completely dries. Get rid of some of the excess there so it'll lay flatter. But I do like that inside out. I never thought it would turn. I thought it was going to tear all up on me, but look at that. Sharon! Please hurry. My phone's ringing. Just hit the green button real quick. Damn it. I just missed him. Okay. I am back. I let these dried overnight. And they don't, I mean, there might be a slight feel of the wax on here. I also, though, I put them between pieces of paper towels after I let them dry overnight to just kind of pick up any excess wax from my pieces. And after doing that, it seems to have done the trick. This piece felt very greasy, and it still has a little bit of a grease texture. I probably, before I would use it on anything, so you can see, right, I mean, it's vellum. It is the same character as any other kind of vellum. And especially, I wanted to show you, now this is just a piece of paper. I mean, you can still see through the back side, and it absorbed the wax very well. The bigger pieces I'm going to kind of leave in here a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you. This is the front side of that antique note page, and there's the back side. Let's see, I want to layer these up a bit here. Again. Excuse me. However, the little girls I did who have kind of fallen out on their own, you really got to look at them to tell which side is which. Now I'm pretty sure that's the actual side, and that's the back side of it. But I mean, they turned out really cute, and they are very vellumy. Book page is very greasy. I probably wouldn't do it with book page in the future. Besides, with a book page, you get front and back, and it's just a worded scramble then. And these are the labels. When you peel them off, they have a kind of a washi tape look to them. They're a lot thicker, probably because of the adhesive and stuff on the back of them. So when you get a wax, or even if you're using something like maybe coconut oil, you'll want to use something to blot your excess. And as you saw earlier, I was really putting it down. So, and I can feel this paper drying. I can feel it drying on there. It has a kind of odd, I can feel the fibers from the paper towel on there. But it really is super cool. Again, just like a piece of vellum here. And of course, my little girls, they all are very vellumy and see-through. And I just love them. I'll use them on something that I make. And I love this guest check, how it turned out as well. This is the waxed coffee filter that I waxed. Not really very vellumy, but I think when I go to use it, and it is dried a little bit more because I think it needs a little more drying as well, I can slip a piece in and you'll be able to see it, which I think is really cool in the journals. So it will make like a see-through pocket. And then this is the back side of this guest check. And I almost picked it up thinking it was the right side earlier. So it's really hard to tell the difference, other than, of course, everything's backwards. The birds don't, I mean, they don't look backwards. Nor do the girls when you're using those. So those turned out really good, and I'm very pleased with it. So that is one way, if you don't have vellum, that you could choose to make your own. And I'm just layering these back in here so that I can press them down and get any more excess off of here, because I'm not using them in anything right away, so might as well do it. And if you're going to use these in any projects, I would make them way in advance. I wouldn't try to use them and wax them right up front and then use them. Alrighty, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and saw some new ways you could try to make your own vellum and do things. You can buy vellum that is plain and print your own, and it turns out just print digitals right on the vellum paper, just as you would anything else that you might print, and it turns out super good. So there you have it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.